Yes.
So welcome to another Exploring Consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hub. And today we're going to talk a little bit about grid work and see how we can, take this further, and anything else that comes up really that goes in line with working with all the incoming souls, and what is their take on grid work. Yeah. And what do they know that they can share with us? So Tanya, tell us a little bit about the work that you do with the grid work.
So, well, what I was saying is that we're all doing grid work every day, right? When we are connecting and grounding to Mother Earth and walking, right? Walking with those mindful steps of being in communion with Earth Mother, right? We are walking across the grid lines. We are flowing with the grids of Mother Earth and the energy of Mother Earth. And I think it's important to remember that just as we are opening up to our multidimensional self, so is Earth Mother. So Earth Mother, right? We have grids in all of the dimensions of Mother Earth, and if Earth is opening up to her purpose as a seventh dimensional seed planet, there's grids on that 7D Earth, and then there's grids for 5D Earth and 3D Earth, and they're all readjusting and realigning. And as Earth moves into this higher dimensional energy, we are, shifting from the old grid system to the new grid system, into that crystalline grid system. And so there's a lot of changeover that's happened, and there's a lot of energy binding of grids and chakras that have been harnessed with dark magic, harnessed with. To me, it looks almost like, if you've ever seen Doctor Strange and the way that they open the multidimensional portals with those sling rings, those bindings look very similar to that, where I'll see when I'm walking through a space, I'll see an energetic binding on a space that looks like one of those energetic structures. I'll have to draw some pictures for you at some point, but it's my directive to, unbind and deconstruct, right? Some of that old grid work, so that Earth can open up into her true self, her, purpose, path, purpose.
So the entire manipulation of the grids and everything is actually also causing a destruction for our DNA, right?
I don't know about that, but I think it could hold us in an energetic place, a certain energetic way of thinking.
So the idea then would be, we probably need to start writing a revocation for grid. Do we have any revocations for grid line manipulations?
Well, I know there's revocations for the sacred geometric cities, right? That AB has done, and that's part of it.
Is there one specifically for sacred geometric cities?
Well, I think it's included in the banking system and in the government
Yes. Okay.
system. So, thinking about, so I'm in San Francisco, you're in London, right? And these are two sacred geometric cities. And the way that it looks to me is that it's constructed almost do you all have awareness of what the tree of life looks like? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it looks to me like the geometric cities are constructed very similar to the tree of life. Hang on, I have a chart here. Let me grab it.
Can I say a couple words while Tanya I've worked with these teachings of Drunville and Melchizedek, and for me, this is where I got my knowledge about sacred geometry. And his first two books, Flower of Life, Ancient Secret of Flower of Life, he is going into detail, explaining what is sacred geometry. Yeah, what is sacred geometry is, and he's explaining ratios, and he's explaining everything, and he's connecting sacred geometry to original language of this universe. And then Andrew giving information about sacred geometry cities. It's kind like false sacred geometry, but why it false? Sacred
It's
geometry.
misused. It's misused energy, right? It's
Exactly.
used for dark magic.
Exactly. And it was kind like a mechanism to deviate original flow of energy of this universe to need of these black magic masters and whatever they were doing, we were doing at any time in this universal experience. So this is simple point of view on the sacred geometry. What is that? It's kind like original language of this universe. It's in my
It's yeah. It is. It's the language of the universe, and it can be just like all types of magic can be used for good or not, right? It can be used
exactly.
for being helpful, or it can be used for being harmful. And one of the things that I've seen as kind of like an across the board with different cities, and I'm trying to map this out and get a deeper understanding of it, through my own connections to spirit. But this symbol, and this one's really actually not accurate because there's 12, not 10, but there this energetic structure is has been used in a number of different places to bind energy, to work within an energetic system to hold the energetics in place, right? And then harvest those energetics. So, I've seen this structure also in one of the Masonic temples in Oakland, where it was holding this like earth, this earth area here was anchored underground in this Masonic temple and holding the tidal flow in and out of Lake Merritt in Oakland, and keeping the lake really energetically stagnant, because that energy should be coming in from the sea, ebbing and flowing with the tides. And the way that that temple was structured, it was taking that energy and drawing it up into the temple instead of allowing it to flow back and forth into the lake. So, this is just one example of, something that I've seen. And when I energetically did a deconstruction of that, then, 3 months later, there were otters back in the lake. So I thought that was, kind of an interesting thing. So, each little piece that we see, that each one of us sees, I'm sure that if you work with little crystals, or working with rocks and trees and things, feathers that you've gathered from earth, sometimes you say, oh, I must place this crystal right here. I don't know why, but I need to stand here for 5 minutes and walk in a circle and put this crystal down. You're doing grid work, right? You are doing something to help deconstruct the energetics that are already in place.
Has anybody looked at the difference between like finite geometry and infinite geometry? Because I'm only just starting to scratch the surface of it, but what I understand is that there's the Fibonacci spiral, the false sacred geometry, the manipulation of sacred geometry, that the Fibonacci spiral makes a slight modification or slight adjustment to what is natural sacred geometry, and it cuts off
golden mean adjustment to golden mean. Yeah.
So it cuts off the 13th node of the tree of life. And so instead of it feeding us, it takes from us. And so I haven't really fully looked into it, but I do think that there's merit in that theory.
It's a little, can I add? It's a little bit more simpler than with this agenda of taking or giving. It's just adjustment to, like you said, infinite and finite. Golden mean, it doesn't have beginning, it doesn't have end. This is that unlimited universe. Golden mean connected to experience of universe. For human experience, we need to have something or end or beginning. And Fibonacci, this is exactly that. It's very close to golden mean, very close, but it has beginning. It has 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, da, 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 da. It doesn't have end, but it has beginning. That's why nature using Fibonacci to create environment for human experience for us. So this is difference between Fibonacci and golden mean. It's not exactly taking or giving. It's just creation of rules, environment for having universal experience or having human experience. This is the difference. And can I say a couple of words about what Tanya was sharing? We are working all the time doing this grid work. It's true. Even doing revocation, we're doing grid work. Why? We are returning that natural, original language of sacred geometry, how universe was created, again, to give everyone 100% free will, sovereignty, whatever they want to experience. Not like it was for a long, long time. It was deviating only for benefits of few, not for benefits of everyone. And this is what Tanya said. I want to put this stone here. I want to put this crystal this way or this or this place. This is what we do. We are returning all that availability of this bubble, this universe for everyone to have universal experience how it was meant. And for a long time lately, we were doing 100% free will, sovereignty, and boundaries for everyone, not just for that 1%, you know? So correcting that you can use this ability to connect to universal, what universe proposed to us as experience, it's doing this grid work. Yeah, you can connect with ley lines, more physical stuff, etheric stuff, but still anything you do your grid work.
And, as each of these points are opened on the density earth that our bubble of reality is in, it connects with those higher density points on Mother Earth and opens the way for that reality to manifest, which is really exciting, I think.
Hello?
Exactly. Connection to Mother Earth, this is our kind like way to manifest whatever we want to manifest in this universal bubble. It's clear, it's opened, yeah.
So that's all understood. All the self-mastery, the sovereignty work that we're doing has an impact on all the grids and the sacred geometry and everything. That's the individual, contribution that we are all here to do. Now, I'm thinking in terms of our Academy for Off-Worlders, right? How can we bring that into a little chapter for them? It's like you were just saying, working with the earth. How can we sort of make it a bit more tangible so that we can put it in words, put it in an instruction manual, we got to use the logic there. Yeah, the work is all done on an etheric level and through our coding and everything. But if we want to put it into sort of something tangible, that we can produce together as a group, as an Academy for Off-Worlders. How Where do we start with that?
In my understanding, again, returning to simplicity, because we are working here 3D level, 3D plus, 4D minus level of consciousness. And we have this brain that can work only with this much of information. It's not unlimited. Our brain in potential, if you tune, but our brain can perceive higher consciousness levels. But we are living as human beings, and they are coming to human reality on 3D level of consciousness experience, 3D plus, 4D minus. So if you maintain your connection to that unlimitedness, yes, that you started with before fetus in a mother's womb, and then you become fetus, it's that limitedness. You can see it as your connection, as we were discussing in our previous meetings, connection to Mother Earth and Father Sky as universe. As universe. When you keep that stretch, you are tuned into that grid work naturally already. So when you're moving with your life, having that connection all the time, working Mother Earth and universe as Father Sky, Father Sun, whatever you call it, connection to unlimitedness, you are in connection to that grid work. And you're not distorting natural flow. And again, everything that is available in this universe available for you, just being tuned into that stretch, into that connection, all that unlimitedness, or all that multidimensionality, and at the same time, human experience, everything at once available for you by your choice. Just keep your stretch, keep your connection. Remember how ancient was saying, be humble for you made of earth, be noble for you made of stars. This is that thing. In the middle, it's that grace of your existence, grace of your experience.
Grace of experience. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I've traveled all around the country and seen a lot of different bindings on the grid, as well as earth elemental beings like the dragons, the unicorns, sea, the sea serpents, the mermaids. I've seen them all bound into different ways where their energy has been harnessed for running an energetic structure. One of the things I've noticed now is all of these contracts with these earth elemental beings are being renegotiated, right? I don't know exactly what happened, but after the fall of Atlantis, there was a lot of contracts that went into allowing their energy to be harvested. And I don't know if it was their free will or not, but now all of these contracts are getting renegotiated. So these earth elemental beings are able now to have more say in what's going on with Mother Earth because they're in communion with Mother Earth in a way that humans are, because each of us, when we're incarnated here, have a contract with Earth Mother, but we're not as in awareness of that, I think, as some of these other beings.
Okay, so when we look at the energies, at the beings, the souls that are coming in, how do they perceive all of that? And where can we help them to create that connection?
I like this word, grace, right? And coming back to this place of the innocent heart, the heart of the child that is open. Because if you look at a little kid, a little kindergartner, the kid doesn't have prejudice against, you know, anyone, whether they're, you know, mythical beings or you know, different races or genders, or, you know, kids, they just play with the kids. So I think, you know, there's an innocence, I think, to a lot of these star seeds coming in to Earth now, that an innocence and an openness. And I think that that can teach all of us, you know, to be more open, to be more able to listen.
I have a question, Tanya.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. These children that are coming in now, uh, who I assume they've not been here before. This is probably the first time they're coming to have a life here on the earth. Um, are they coming in with amnesia like we did, or are they coming in with some form of um, their lives before they got here into the reality?
Well, there's always the forgetting of the birth process. So whatever the intentions are before that, you know, we're all wiped with a clean slate. Although I think some of these kids are going to be able to remember more once they're born, remember more easily.
I
Like I
prepare.
was
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was I've been working with a number of clients who have been trying to get pregnant with IVF, and there's a really interesting energetic difference. Like some of the souls have been here before, but not recently, you know, not for a really very long time, and so they're going to have a very different experience now with all of the technology and, you know, the fast-paced, instant gratification culture that we're in now. It's going to be a very different experience for them. But one of the things I'm noticing is they're coming in from a very high density and having trouble getting in because the humans were born into a lower density. So there has to be an energetic way to bridge that gap so the soul can come down. But one of the souls um, has set intention of really being in communion with Mother Earth and of service to Mother Earth. You know, we all know that Earth is fine, right? She's going to do what she's going to do, but there's more and more souls coming in service to Mother Earth, to get back to that natural way of living. So I think there's a kind of a wide, overreaching intention of a lot of souls who are coming in that that want that.
So I'm getting that these souls that are coming in this manner, they're going to be separate from the grid that we've been talking about, the old 3D grid that's been harnessing our energy for so long. They're going to manifest um, their own grid, perhaps. Would that be some truth to that, or am I completely off?
Well, I mean, I think we all do that in some way, shape, or form, right? Just
You
as we're
know,
talking about our own truth, right?
you know what they say? If even one one what is that? Representative of some kind of experience exists, it's already grid created for that one being. So if you have a representation of some kind of experience on Earth, we do have grid already created for that experience to have place. We are in this universe of free will. I prepared a little paragraph for this manual, what we were discussing previous time, and it is in connection to what we are discussing now. how to keep them who are coming here, because they do have understanding before veil of forgetting. They know how to be connected, but then you go and you forgot. So this is what I prepared. Welcome into our human family. You arrived. You are here on Earth, or in subtle layers of this unique being we call Mother Earth. Now you are looking for tools and manuals to understand this place, to start experiencing all possibilities of this place. We as humanity in transition now. We are coming out from duality limitations experience. We are ending any experience of war, domination, or control here. All and you being here very much connected to these grand changes. We want to give you a gift that will help you not to being lost in unlimitedness of possibilities of this place. We would like to share with you remembering about the most ancient technology on Earth, technology of your heart. Let me find. The most ancient technology on Earth, it's technology of your heart. Heart technology that you are born with, that can connect you to all that ever was here in this universe. We call it Akashic record. It can connect you with all new that is unfolding in this bubble of experience we call our universe. And the most important, this ancient technology built into your body, human body, can give you clarity with your choices going with your life. Remember that you are multidimensional being, and you don't need to disconnect from this beacon of clarity, stepping into human experience, particular dimensional experience. Being centered in your heart, the most ancient technology on earth, you can choose your human experience to be in synchronicity with the most progressive directions for experience unfolding in this universe and on earth. You can assist entire humanity in moving in that direction, living next to you and co-creating with you. We will and co-creating with you. We will easier as humanity and faster remember who we are, where we are came from, and where we are going. Beauty and joy of being human will step from our dreams and become our reality.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Arina. Beautiful. Yeah.
Nice.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I will type it. I will type it and will send it to you. Yeah.
Send it to me. Yes. Thank you. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, you know, the notion here, what's coming through here quite strongly is the simplicity of it all. And on some level, to really acknowledge the potency that every single one of us actually exudes and contributes when we go into sovereignty and mastery. And then just basically follow whatever is that joy teaching, whatever is joyful, whatever brings you happiness, whatever is laughing is the other thing, isn't it? That sense of humor and that, you know, I think this is an interesting one, and Aby goes on about this all the time, isn't it? About this laughing business, you know, how and he said it in that interview as well, which I'm going to share in the Earth Noble Hub, where he says, by just putting a smile to a revocation or to anything that we are discussing, that adds and exponentializes the potency and the energy in all different dimensions, universes, and galaxies. It's really that. It's that as much as I've been looking at, you know, understanding the feelings and understanding, you know, the chemical reaction of the feelings, and understanding the light memory that is out there. Not everything has to be, you know, expressed through feelings, especially not that what we call negative, you know. We always have to go back that sacred neutral as such does not create. And I think one of the biggest contributions of humans on earth is the capacity to be able to feel and to express ourselves with feelings. That is pure light emission, right? Especially when it comes from a non-polarized place.
I was mentioning before when I was sharing about my work that we do have two emotional bodies in our skin suit, not one, two. And for human experience, yes, it's about feeling and emotions that we were connecting to good and bad understanding. In my remembering, we didn't start with good and bad. It became good and bad. We started with dense experience and lighter experience, not like light, like sunlight, like a lighter transparency, more like a bird or heavy cat walking in a jungle, completely two different experiences. And then with duality and limitations, wars, dominations, it turned into good and bad, black and white. But originally, my remembering, when I tune into that ancient experience, it was a possibility to have dense experience and have light experience as less dense experience. So in connection to these two emotional bodies, we don't actually decide to continue this duality experience. We all aiming to feel that oneness today, and then your individual uniqueness from that point. Yeah, not becoming completely the same like your neighbor, but being completely uniquely different, but having that multiplicity and availability for different experiences in that flow of exchange. So for that purpose, it's actually, we need to step out from duality emotional body. Why? Because as long as we still stay in duality, we will compare. If we still stay in duality experience emotional body, we will compare all the time. And we don't want to compare, really. If you look inside, you don't want to compare yourself to anyone. You just want to co-create, coexist. You want to play together, dance together. This is what we want. And for that purpose, very useful that second emotional body, that there is no actual human words besides like calling it bliss emotional body, like what you said, Martina, everything we call good, but nothing from what we call bad. That kind of joy, happiness, laughter, playfulness, all that stuff, all that beauty where we all want to be in our experience. This is that second emotional body. I would call it first emotional body. And it is connected to heart brain. It is connected to heart brain. It's inside of that ancient heart technology, spiritual technology. So when we will be able to step from the judgment of duality emotions and comparison of duality emotions into perceiving everything through that beauty, natural beauty of life, this is what we do now. We are finishing with all that war, that is ugliness. It's not beauty. You can't recognize beauty in that thing. You can't. So we are finishing with that. So if we reconnect back to that beauty, bliss, emotional body of your heart, and again, it's heart, like a spiritual technology. I'm not talking about emotions of love as humans understand today. Yeah, feeling of love. I'm talking about vibration of love as that fabric of this universe. This is what I say, connection of that emotional body, bliss emotional, beauty emotional body. It will bring that experience. Even in our transition time, even today when this craziness going on still on the table, and we need to look at this.
Thank you, Irina. Our heart lady, heart technology.
It's all about the heart, portal within the heart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's interesting. I had a conversation with someone yesterday who is sort of, comes from Pleiades and, working on Earth to help to bring that unity back into, different spheres that she's working in. And there is, the oneness, right, that we're all kind of moving back into, right? The lack of polarity, the lack of good, bad. But also, each of us has our individual gifts as part of the whole that we bring to the table, which is why it's so fun to commune in a group like this, because, we each have our different perspective and different specialties and, different lines of interest and study. Yeah.
Yes, as AB said, it's 7,700,000,000 something different unique experiences here. We don't want to be our neighbor, but we want to play with our neighbor and be able to have fun and joy doing that with anyone. Yes, Tanya, yeah. We all unique in this family of 7 billion, whatever, million beings, souls having experience. Yep.
My crystal, I have this, liquid crystal oracle crystal deck, and I draw a crystal card every day. And my crystal today is charite, which is, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of like black with like purple through it. It's a really pretty little guy here. But I also picked up the Herkimer, which, so the Herkimer has to do with unity and the Charite has to do with individualization. So I guess my stones are right on point with our conversation today. Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to say something here about the grid line that we're talking about. And I don't know if any of you recall, but Andrew and JP did a recording like way back in the early days, based on, they were talking about the grid lines of Earth, and they were also talking about the curry lines. Now, I don't know very much about either of them, because I've never really heard of grid lines or curry lines before. That
Hartman and Curry lines.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you know anything about the curry lines in relation to the grid lines?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, when you're messing around with all these energy tools, you kind of mess around with the ley lines. It's kind of the whole purpose and part of it, because like our ancestors knew about the ley lines, and they would, their beds or their houses like around the ley lines. You wouldn't have your bed on top of a ley line because it's like super active. It could be all sorts of different energies, non-beneficial, beneficial, or mostly not. But where's I going with this? But yeah, the ley lines. Yeah, the Kerman. You got like the Curry lines that run one way, and then the Hartman lines that run another way, and they kind of just encompass the entire globe. And it's like this energetic system throughout the Earth. And of course, yeah, it's been manipulated and through all sorts of ways. They got like cell phone towers, churches on them, and of course sacred sites, all sorts of things in the ley lines. But I noticed when I put energy tools on the ley line, especially like the ley line vortices where like the ley lines cross, you get like more energy amplified coming out of them. So I know a little bit, but not too much. I mean, There's
mean,
still a
I
lot
think
more. It
they're the
goes deep and
same.
deep. And oh yeah, I'm sure multidimensionally, it's more than I even looked into. Go ahead.
Oh, I think the Hartman-Curry lines and the ley lines are similar. It's just that Hartman and Curry like described, right? Ley lines in a new way or different way is my
I believe
understanding.
I believe it's even connected to north, south, west, east direction, how they go. Some
Yeah.
type of lines just going as high above Earth, and some of them very high above Earth in the air. So I didn't research in detail this question. It's not my thing. But in my understanding, it's like, real grid of crossing lines all around our Earth, and a lot of them in the air as well. And some lines can go very high in air. And points of
Yeah.
crossing create those vortices that Alfredo mentioned, and they can go like consuming and they can go like giving. Again, right turn spiral, left turn spiral. Yeah. So this is kind like, and for human health, it's too much sometimes. And people work with redirecting those flows of energy, not to have too strong something when you sleep, when you not so much in charge of your existence and you are staying for a long time in one place. There are tools like copper omegas shape tools, or just straight one with some kind like ability to redirect that line. This is what I know about ley lines.
Well, and you can use the orgonite or, crystals, different types of crystals I love the Arkansas quartz for that, because you can use small little Arkansas quartz, like this guy. And Alfredo's been creating some really beautiful tools for that type of work as well.
Oh yeah. Do wonders. I just like to put them on those spaces when I'm outside, because it creates a sacred space, because you're influencing the energy system. It creates a kind of harmony. So I'm all about it, especially the beds. Make sure the kids don't have nightmares, all over that, the line system within the house too. It's very important.
So I have another question.
Let
How
me
does
say one more thing on the ley lines and the crystals. Just a reminder, think of where we're all situated. So we're all actually choosing our place to live for a specific reason, because we are the biggest crystal of it all. So just by us living in a place, how are we affecting the grids? Ilana, go.
Yeah. I'm listening to you and I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, now I remember. Now, Andrew talked about the many layers of fortification that was put on the earth. Now, how does that now affect the original grid line of the earth? Any thoughts on that? And is that fortification fake grids that were put around the earth?
Yeah, well, badly, I mean, this is all part of all the hoo-ha, with all the manipulation of our potencies and everyone's potencies, really, and the Earth's potencies and things like that. And this is what we are here for, to every single one of us that is here to start to remedy that.
Well, and I think it's a continual discovery. It's like
Ongoing thing.
layers and layers and layers and layers.
Because one of the things this lady said was actually, if we look at the stargates, and be that right or wrong, I don't know, use your own discernment, but I thought, the stargates are supposed to be open so that free flowing energies can come in, so that, healing capacities, Nobody needs to, we know that. We don't need to pay for our electricity. We don't need to, we should be healthy. We don't need to be sick all the time. There's not supposed to be all this pain and stuff like that. And that is all part because the stargates are not working properly. The womb chakras are not working properly because of the grid system being fucked up, basically, because of all the manipulation that we've gone through. And this is what we're here for to change, because once we are changing all of that, we are upgrading our DNA and we are opening up the grids, we're opening up the stargates, and then the connection is going to be uninterrupted. That's what I understand.
Well, and a lot of the stargates have been closed down in a way so the energy just is completely dead in those areas. I saw that with Chaco Canyon, saw that with the Bighorn Medicine Wheel. My friend and I reactivated the Bighorn Medicine Wheel a number of years ago, and it was like when we got up there, we expected it to be energetic, and it was just like a total dead zone. And as we were reactivating it, it's almost like in a circular star pattern. As we were reactivating it, she in the center and I on one of the sides and walking around, all of these star beings came down etherically to hold space on that medicine wheel. And that was a fabulous experience that, it was really intense, but really incredible, the support that we were seeing from the higher galactic realms.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
getting this image as we're talking here. Like you're saying, Martina, we're different points on the earth, all of us here in this hub. Each one of us is in a different state, some of us in different continent. And what I'm feeling and having this image of is that we're like been sleeping because we've been pushed down by all the fortification of all that was used to fortify the earth so many times over, and it's creating like this weight over the earth, all around the earth. And we are waking up from within, underneath of all this fortification, and we are being this light and energy that is waking up, like from a sense of like sleeping, when something is coming out of sleep, and we are pushing the grid from below and pushing it up, so the pressure is building up by not just us but all others who are doing the same kind of work wherever they are on the planet. And we're all kind of pushing like a cage. We're pushing the cage from below and trying to burst the cage open and burst it out, so there we would have more light, universal light, coming in back onto the surface of the planet. And we're just pushing from below to get that split and open, like when a chicken is coming out of the egg, sort of. They're pecking from below and breaking the shell open. And that's the image I'm getting of us doing that and pushing it out from below and breaking it up and crumbling and falling apart. Eventually it becomes space junk. That's just a joke.
That's a lovely metaphor. On a very simplistic level, another way to look at that is as well how we're impacting on the grids and on everything else. Is just imagine yourself walking to a dinner, going to a dinner somewhere, or going to a meeting, or going, with people with bodies, and just acknowledge the reaction that you're getting from people. Some people obviously might not be, blissfully enjoying your company, but so often you walk into a place and you really, as you walk in, you just change the energy just by walking in. Think of a haunted place. So many haunted places everywhere, full of entities, and you just walk in and you perceive them, and you don't even have to do any clearings anymore. It's like, oh, okay, now I can sit down, now I can breathe, and things like that. So it's just really we are walking sage sticks.
Yeah, it's like cracking their egg, you know.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, you're cracking up the eggs everywhere.
Oh, we're
Cracking
putting
that shell
cracks.
open.
Yeah, we are putting cracks, and you know what are we? Why are we doing this? Well, because we can, and everybody can, and because we've done the work, or we are continuously applying ourselves with joyful, enthusiastic, effort, and have some fun and put the smile on and laugh and don't take ourselves too serious, like on this hub, and just play. And that's what I think the main message that we're having today is just that.
And that's why we had to come in here. We came in here to break it from within, break that shell from within, and be here for the remedy and the resolve of the ancient wars that happened in the solar system and in the different galaxies that were brought here. Everybody was brought here at the end who were able to be the best of the best that can get the work done.
Yeah, and we're going to honor ourselves for that. We're going to all acknowledge that. Every single one of us being here, not just on this hub, every single one of us out there, we have to really start acknowledging that. Without going into hierarchical sort of structures or anything, we are, but really honor that, the gratitude for all of that, and the responsibility that comes with it.
And the more we acknowledge that and recognize why we're here, the hierarchy becomes irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They can call themselves whatever they want. They could be whatever they want, but they are becoming irrelevant to the greater good.
And I think, when we're talking about grid work, we're also talking about pattern recognition, right? Because there's certain energetic structures that have been created or held that you'll see the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, oh, that magician had that trick up his sleeve, and he used it over and over and over again because nobody knew how to crack it. So as you're walking through and being mindful about the grids that you're walking on, look back up and look at things from a wider perspective, right? Look at the dimensional layers and the way that things are structured energetically, because we all have the ability, I think, to see that.
And I got to go back. Absolutely. I got to go back again to that interview where, as we're walking and all of that and doing all of that work, we have to see the magical side of us. We have to actually acknowledge ourselves as magical practitioners. It's like we've been so indoctrinated, or magic has disappeared from this world. It's been obviously downtrodden, it's negative, it's black, and all of that. And the magicians who used to hold that space, who used to hold the grids in a good space and everything, they are gone. So this is our invitation now, part of that, to become those magical practitioners again. And it says that actually.
Or I should say, we are here.
Yeah. But acknowledge it, right? We are here. We are the space holders. We are doing it. And how much fun is it? Right? It's not hardship, is it? No. I'm having fun with it.
And with all the horrible things that went on and that we've lived through so far, we can still come here and laugh about it. We can still keep the joys within ourselves going. And we can laugh as hard as we want about it and make fun of it as well. Roast the grid.
Roast it. Yeah, roast the grid.
So
Great.
these are some of the structures that I see. So like locking mechanisms will look similar to this, and sometimes they're layered and layered and layered. And then like a binding system will go like above ground and underground and look in a similar structure to
Oh,
this. And
lovely.
then you might see like a little cage with one of the earth guardians, like a dragon or a salamander or, sea serpents if they're underground, if they're underwater, um, caught up and bound in little cages like that. It's what I've seen a lot of. So pay attention. If you're feeling like really heavy, dense energy in a place, back up and use your second sight and look at those etheric structures and look at the etheric bindings. If you're in a city, look for the wider grid pattern, and then be able to say, oh, okay, I'm going to put a crystal on that earth, dot on the tree of life, or on, one of the other planetary spots. But I know like in San Francisco, like this is like the ferry building and like this is City Hall. So all of those other places in between, right, are creating that energy structure, that binding structure. You probably see it in London too, right? I haven't started to deconstruct London, but you'll see that same energetic structure if you back up and look at the map and look at that big picture.
You perceive it everywhere,
Mm-hmm. DC, same thing.
Uh, all big cities in that structure, they all using natural sacred geometry, turning flow of energy where they wanted it to go to those major buildings with some magic going on inside or some chords going on inside, just to support again desire of you. Yeah. Can I add one little thing? Flower of life that you are showing, Tanya. Actually, it's again derived from a flower of life. Remember this flower of life image? It's a circle. It was behind me. Let me show you. Let me open my thing and you can see it behind me. This flower of life behind me, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's derived if you oppose tree of life here
You
on
can
top.
you can lay it over it. It matches up.
Exactly. So this is that language, the simple language, is alphabetic language of this universe, sacred geometry. Everything encoded into these crossing points,
Right.
into the flow, these spheres. It's not even circles, it's three-dimensional, it's spheres. Yep.
And I think it's important to remember too that even though, as we look at that picture behind Irina, that the flower of life isn't containable, right? In this case, it has a circle around it, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop within that circle. It's like the fabric of life that continues to go and go and go and go and go.
Exactly. Unlimitedness of this universe, yes. We call it filter when spirit decide to have this experience connected to this bubble of experience. Flower of life, I call it as a filter. Nothingness came through this flower of life filter, and this is what it's turning wheels, creating environment for us to have experience in this universe on multidimensional levels of this universe, including
creating the energetic, the physical structure.
And physical included, and another energetic structures. It's for entire universe, not just Earth. For entire universe, multidimensional, etheric, energetic, whatever vibrational experiences, including human experience, 3D physical experience.
Fabulous. Herminia, did you want to say something? Sorry, you've been trying to say something. You still there? She's driving.
Hello?
Yeah, you wanted to say something.
Oh, because I was feeling about Tanya that was mentioning about the sacred geometry. It's the funny thing. I also remember that I went to the um to one of the tower in New York, the Trump Tower, the famous one. And they had in the corner when you're coming in to the left, they had like a mechanical geometric instrument that go around like in circle with the light. And I was, as soon as I came in, I just noted, I said, wow, it's amazing because those people, they know how to use the power of the geometric symbol, while the most of the majority of population is ignorant about that. And when I walk in New York, I see the symbol that Tanya showed, like a Metatron Q or something. It's not like a combination of different symbols. However, in New York, most of those famous cathedral and other churches, they have symbols that I guess they copy from the same Metatron cube, and then different one. I guess it's depending what they want to do. In any case, when I walk around those areas, when I see those symbols, I imagine myself like I'm turning back the energy that they collecting through those symbols, turning back to the ground. And I have been using it like, in my visualization, like a shower, bringing back all the energy that they're taking from there to the population. I remember one day that Andrew said that if you go to one of those cities where they have the monuments or all that stuff, you can invert the energy back to the earth, And it's amazing how many, all those buildings, those famous buildings from the hotel or hotel, famous restaurant or bank, all of them, they have those symbols in the front. Either one, and it's for me, I just noticed as soon as I walk in and the area, I just recognize it. I said, wow, it's amazing. And then it's very interesting that you are talking about that, because I think that's something that we can use to help a lot to do our own work and helping to the whole. That's what I want to mention.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is, I think we need to be more educated about it, all the power that we have in front of us that we don't know, right?
Well, I like that idea too of being able to say, oh, wait, here's all the energy that's being harvested. I'm going to redirect that back to Earth. Yeah. Yes.
Definitely.
I also like that you've been drawing it. So it's almost like you caught them out. It's not just in an etheric level anymore. You're just like, hey, I got it right here. And then she said she cleared it. I see it, and then she cleared it. Yeah.
Yes. I have a few, I buy some canvas, and when I had the idea about energy, I just, it's like a simple drawing that I do myself. Like I don't have any background about arts, but I love arts. I can, however, when I see things like that, I do combination of drawing in canvas and put in my house, put in my bedroom, everywhere. It's tiny little, symbol. For me, like a symbol, like I'm grounding the energy or love, joy, and peace, because that's my embody looking for love, joy, and peace. And when I do that, I figure out in my mind that that's what I'm doing. I'm grounding that feeling of that I want for the planet.
Exactly.
I think there's also a reason that they're called sometimes song lines, right? And dragon lines, because of the way the energy can flow, on them. So, using your voice and singing, right? I think about, Alfredo walking out there by the river, and I can feel the energetics of that, and allowing yourself to release your voice, and sing down the river, right? or for me, on the bay or on the ocean, to chant or sing and allow that energy to carry.
It's my way of gifting the land, so it kind of gives back to me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Given, it's a mutual relationship here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, I mean, we know this, these people right here on this Zoom and everyone listening, right? But I think we are, as humanity, relearning this symbiotic relationship.
You just got to look at the deserted building, abandoned building. It doesn't take long to disintegrate, right? It's quite interesting. When I go on holidays and I come back to a completely different house. It's like, oh, sometimes now what I do is as soon as I arrive at the airport, I already start connecting back to the house and say, hey, I'm coming back. And that makes a difference. Because otherwise you come back and it's like, whoa, okay, you just have to walk around a little bit until it becomes, it adjusts to the frequency again. Very interesting.
So I'm thinking of what Herminia was talking about, the buildings in New York City. And I'm reminded of a church that's called a Basilica of St. Francis, and it was created in 1889. And you guys familiar with the movie A Field of Dreams?
Mm-hmm.
So that small town that the Field of Dreams movie was filmed in is called Dyersville. And now in Dyersville, the population of that small town is just a little over 4,000 people. And when we went down to see the Field of Dreams, we went into the town to see if we can get some lunch. And we couldn't find a restaurant except one that was open. They probably have just a few in the main street of the town. And we found this one restaurant at when you're standing in front of the restaurant, you could see this basilica down the road. And I was amazed to see this giant building right down the street in a small town with just about 4,000 people. And it has two towers, and it's roughly about 39,000 square feet in size, and it has a school attached to it. And I'm thinking to myself, this town is so small. It's even smaller than the one that I live in. Why is there such a huge church in this town, Can even fill the church up, And not everyone is going to be a part of that particular church as well. And I was so amazed at that. And I started me thinking, is there a ley line that's running right through this town that they had to come and plant this basilica right there to harness that point, And if you go online, you can look it up. You'll see what the church looks like and everything. And it's called Basilica of St. Francis in Dyersville.
Well, those are like a collector tower, energy collector tower. Every town have a big one, no matter how small the town it is. I always have got that about those things. It's the collection tower for the energy. Oh my goodness. It's amazing.
Well, when you see the size of this building, you're like, what's going on here? It makes you start to think. It's the largest building in the whole area,
Yeah.
Why is there such a big church here? Do they have enough people here to fill this place, So, yeah, it's amazing.
Not all of those buildings actually for taking energy. We were going with this duality experience for a long time, and it is only need to have that knowledge to redirect energy. a lot of those ancient buildings that were built on those crossing points, they were just for sustaining energy on Earth, creating connection from point to point. And then people would come who wanted to harvest and knew how to do it. Then they would turn that object into something that they wanted. But a lot of those objects, it's just for reconnection and flow energy on Earth.
Absolutely. Look at pyramids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my lovelies.
Did you say pyramid, Martina?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at Ancient Aliens last night, and was watching one of the episodes that had to do with Mount Kailash in the Himalayas. And one of the thought that they brought up was that someone went there a while ago and did some research, and what he figured out that this mount could be, it's the largest pyramid on Earth, because you're forbidden to go and explore this Mount Kailash. So they said that anyone who has ever gone there up, I think everyone died that ever tried to get up onto the mountain there. And they were, the Chinese forbid anyone from climbing it from their side. And it's supposedly, it's claimed to be the home of Shiva, you know, the Hindu god Shiva. And when people seem to go there, they would experience some sort of a energy coming out from the mountain itself. So now that we're talking about grid lines and you're bringing up pyramid, I'm thinking, I wonder if this is one of the strongest grid points on the Earth itself.
Well, one of my friend, the one who I worked on the Bighorn medicine wheel with, has been to Mount Kailash and done a lot of energy clearing work around that. She talks about that being the crown chakra of Earth. I mean, I think there are
Crown chakra.
many crown.
Crown?
Yeah.
I've never heard of crown chakra. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean
so Mount Kailash?
the Earth itself? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but what she said is that the people there, they do pilgrimage around the mountain, and every year there's, what did she say? There's all kinds of people from that area that will make a sacred pilgrimage all around, like circumnavigate the whole mountain. And that's what she did on this pilgrimage train. And a lot of them prostrate themselves, you know, they're like praying and crawling every step of the way, all the way around this mountain, praying for humanity.
I know that they said that people, when they make pilgrimage there, they go, a lot of people who are ill will go to try and get healing from the energy from the mountain. But there's probably more to the story than we understand, because people are not allowed to go and explore it. They're forbidden doing so. And especially since it's claimed to be the home of Shiva. Now, Shiva is one of the ancient gods of Indian mythology. So someone was saying before that the ancient gods have left. Now, you have to think about whether they actually left or they're still hanging around, but we're not aware of their physical existence amongst us, or are they in body and we don't recognize them? You know, they could have split their energies up like the 15 did and start to spread themselves out individually. No, we don't know any of this information.
No, I think there is a lot more to the story.
Yeah.
More to explore, on our explorations in consciousness.
Because he's kind of known for being like the god of the destroyer and the creator all at the same time. So now that's duality in itself, right there.
And the cosmic dance, Shiva's cosmic dance, right, where Shiva is doing, the dance pose inside the circle of fire. That sculpture is also in front of the Hadron Collider at CERN. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
yep,
have noticed
that's
that.
right. So you got to wonder, because from what Andrew has told us about CERN being, you wonder why his statue is right there. Why is he present right there? Or who put his presence or identification of him right there? What connection are they trying to make with the two,
I guess the Hadron Collider is the creator and the destroyer. Maybe
Well,
that. I don't know.
according to Andrew, it's a belief system that was brought here from another world, and it sends out belief system to the people. I think 600 and some, I believe he had said, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that, but it sends out belief system from there to change our beliefs. And so that's how they trap you into domination and control, to lead you to thinking one way when it's not that way. So why is Shiva's statue there? And I think the Kali's statue is also there as well. And she is the god of what do you call it again? I can't think of.
Goddess of creation and destruction.
Well, the same as well, right?
Yeah, same. More to explore.
And they
Oh, and on that note, it threw me out. Divine intervention.
Hello, Lana.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned those symbols. And from my point of view, I so skeptical about all those goddess and all those symbolization that they have treated humanity for so many eons. That for me it won't be as strange if somebody, maybe a spaceship or something, a secret spaceship or commanding from those organizations that is behind those statues and those mountains. Because from the point of view that we have in all time just like being the cow for the whole for the group feeding from us, I don't believe any other stuff about goddess and all that craziness. It's just like another way to manipulate humanity and control and manipulation all the time. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, they said in ancient alien that the people who go around the mountain there, Mount Kailash, some people, the locals, they have seen like spaceships going into the mountain and disappearing, or going towards the mountain and disappearing. So you got to wonder what else is going on with Mount Kailash.
Yes, of course. I won't doubt it myself that they have like a spaceship control center over there behind, and then they use the religion, all those craziness to keep people sleeping, because that culture has very strong belief about those goddess. So who knows what they have behind there, just feeding themselves from us. Is I don't trust any of those things anymore.
Yeah, where is
It's
Andrew?
like,
Where is Andrew when we need him to ask him questions like this?
Yeah, I'm so freaking tired about all those manipulations that we have been going through. Like it's like enough is enough. That's the way I feel it.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Deconstructing it.
Crack that egg from
Piece
within.
by piece. Line
Yeah.
by line, crystal by crystal.
Well, I think if there is any monument or any of those, places, this is maybe an invitation for you to just sovereignty, check in, see what's going on there. Is there anything you can contribute? Stay in the question and things like that, especially if you feel strongly about something, because that is usually a trigger, an indication that maybe there's something you need to look into. Yeah. Okay, my lovelies. Any more pressing things we want to add to this today before we're going to call it a day?
Well, I just want to call out the energy in the galactic calendar today, which is the white planetary mirror, guided by death. And so I've just been reflecting the mirror, reflecting on what's reflecting back at me. So it's just a little invitation to ponder that energy, like what's mirroring back at you right now.
Exactly. What's looking at you? What's looking back at you? What's mirroring at you? Exactly. That's always a good question to ask, isn't it? Before we go too deeply into some weird shit. Right, that too.
I wanted to say thanks to Caitlin for putting that video up in the chat with Andrew and JP on the curry lines and ley lines. So thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you.
She was on it
Thanks, everyone.
right away.
Fabulous. Let's see if we can add that to I should have it on the chat. I didn't open it now, but let's see if I can add the details to the hub as well. And I'm going to post the other one as well, which is quite a good one. Good questions he got asked there. So thanks very much again for being here today. Another week. It just feels like we've done this, right? Last week, obviously, but everything's just like going so fast now. So good. Irina, did you want to say something?
No, I wanted to ask about that video interview you mentioned in the beginning, but you said already, so I got my answer. Thank you.
Yes, I'm
Is
going to put that
this
on.
is something we saw before,
Nope,
or
I
is
don't
it something brand new?
No,
brand new.
No, he's done it in January with a Sufi master. One of his, I think he came on once before on the show or something, and it's really, really lovely interview, and listen out, just little bits and pieces, good stuff. And also there's something about the AIs in there, so let's think along those lines and see how we can work with those guys as well, because that's quite an interesting one. Add them to our list for as off-worlders in the academy and see what we can do. All right, my lovelies, have a lovely evening, afternoon, and the recording is going to go up, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.